wonderful bubbles. I squirt some more and then get it all over. Making our way to breakfast now, and I'm going to talk a little bit about what you're given here at Cedars Inn. So when we were booking this place, it had complimentary breakfast, which is something that actually pulled us to the place because we were like, you know, that's one less thing to think about when you are away from home, right? And you're supposed to be relaxing. So for the complimentary breakfast, to our surprise, you're actually every day given a coupon. And this coupon is to Tim Hortons, so we're just heading there now. So we made it to Tim Hortons and I'm gonna talk about what we got. So for me, I have this cheese tea biscuit. We all got small hot chocolates as well as hash browns. My daughter decided on the chocolate muffin and my husband got an egg and cheese wrap.
Is anybody there? Is anybody there? I want to order this pack of burgers.
Alright, so we have completed breakfast. It was good, typical breakfast, so nothing too extra. We are now going to head out. So we've arrived at Hopkins Landing and we are trying to find parking. We have found somewhere, so we're just gonna quickly try to go. This is something that we have noticed with majority of the places very similar to this that you will find. It's always very hard to find parking because everywhere around the area is normally owned. So you know you're gonna see like no parking, private property, those kind of things, and you have to try to find somewhere to park. So we have found somewhere, so we're gonna try to quickly go over here so we can move out of the place as soon as possible. But I love this, all the greenery. It really is called the Sunshine Coast for this because it's very sunny, and I love the amount of yard space that you see for the persons who are living here. It reminds me very much of home, and I always say this, it's amazing what you miss when you leave your home country. Something as simple as yard space. Because especially for us, when you live in like a city town area, you literally only have your apartment. No backyard space, no space to do little gardening or anything. It's just that enclosure. So when we're out and you see, it's like so much living. This is living. Persons are actually living. You can go out, sit on your grass. You know what I mean? This is what living is. And so far being here, I think it's the perfect place for persons who are thinking of retirement here on the Sunshine Coast. Everything seems to be very slow. It's a lot slower lifestyle in comparison to the big city. I would recommend this. And we're now heading into the water. Let me show you guys. Look at that backdrop. Like, you can't pay for this. Wow. So even though I am here walking on this boardwalk, I always have this thing internally where right now the boardwalk is literally just in the sand, but as soon as it gets out into the water, like, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is too much for me. So I'll probably turn back before we get there, but I just love this. near those purple things right there. So we're walking back. That was such a good experience, and it was so cool and calming. We even saw a lot of starfish on the water, as well as some baby crabs, which I'm sure the birds were feasting on. So we're gonna go back. We're gonna now head to our next destination, which should be Gibsons Landing. Alright, so we're here at the visitor center, so I'm gonna head inside just to see. Maybe they'll have pamphlets of things that could direct us on what exactly to do, but we're still gonna be walking around the area just to see what they have, the different shops, different things that they have to offer. It's always good to interact and support local when you're out, so we're gonna be doing that. Museum is first, then the aquarium after. That's what she said. Come walk off the grass, walk over here on the trail.
Let's see if I walk on it.
They don't like when you walk on the grass, especially if it's dry. Okay, so guys, we've been walking around looking at all the artifacts, and I must say everything here is absolutely well preserved. Of course, you're gonna see signs that will tell you not to touch anything, of course, that it is warranted. They want to preserve for as long as possible, but it feels like you're literally back in time. Everything is so well preserved. So for example, look, of course those are fake strawberries being shown here, but then you move here and you're looking at how it was preserved. So look at that. Whenever I talk about old times, I always say I believe that this was the best time. And I think being now here on Sunshine Coast, you really get to actually experience and feel it. It's like a slower pace. So being at the blacksmith shop, my daughter is fascinated with these shoes. This was my biggest thing coming in here so far, the medicine cabinet. I'm always fascinated by what we have today in comparison to what was used back then and what was actually helpful. Also a showcase of firearms that were used back then, as well as a wooden decoy duck that also will be used for hunting. And I love how everything is perfectly explained, so you really have no questions as to what it is. And look, this modern day invention, the telephone. I think it's my first time seeing something like this actually. So cool. Okay, so we just left the museum and we're now heading over to the aquarium, as well as they have a public market here where they have local things being displayed. That was so good, such a good experience, and I love that it's by donation and you're not forced by a certain amount to give. So I really think it's an eye-opening experience to show you where this actually small town is coming from to where it is today. So I'm very happy for this. So we're just gonna be walking along now. So just exited from the aquarium. It was very good, by the way. So when you walk in, you are asked to pay. So we're two adults and a child, so it costs us $38, and everything is in proceeds of the aquarium. So it's a non-profit, which is really good. So now we're gonna go along the sea walk before we move over to the wharf. But everything here is just so gorgeous, like so gorgeous. Something also interesting about the aquarium, they do not keep all the sea life there for the rest of their lives. So after a year, they normally will return them to their natural habitat, which I think is so good. And they have an octopus for 4 months out of the year, so it has 3 more months to go. So since we're in May, so June, July, August, by around September, they're gonna be placing the the octopus back to her. And it's a tiny baby octopus, so they place her back into the water. Look at it up there. Look. Do you see her? Look how she's swimming good.
That's a girl?
Yeah, look how she's
I
swimming
don't know
good.
it's a girl.
Right, so we're walking along and we're now gonna go down to the public wharf. So it's very scenic. Actually, even though it's along the weekend, I'm very surprised it's not very, very busy. So you're able to walk around and just have peace, you know? And of course, anytime you're with water, it's always very, very tranquil. So walking on the wharf, it's very cool, very tranquil, I'll say. So we're now gonna head over to the Secret Beach Park, where we're expecting to see a lot more views. Hopefully it's not as crowded as well, so we'll get to experience a lot more there. But this is just so amazing to be around water. I think water just does something to us as human beings. It gives us a calm that we need. Okay, so at Secret Beach, as you would have seen, it is said to be a trail. So we're just walking down, taking our time until we get there. It seems like more of a family beach because we see a lot of families with their blankets. So we'll see. But of course, as usual, the scenery is just gorgeous, so tranquil. And this is what I love about Canada. It really gives you that feeling of camping, being outdoors, you know, engaging with nature. And I think this is one of the many things in Canada that we're like, we have to adapt this part of the culture because it really is amazing. You get to see life outside of work, you know, you get to experience a lot of things. So we're grateful for this. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So we're heading down. We're almost there. You can actually start to hear the water, so we know that we're very close. And you can feel the difference in the air. So fresh.
5,000 steps.
Yeah, we'll get our steps in for today.
God, I don't think I'm able to do this. I can do it. There's like maybe 2 minutes.
Maybe the water just got... Oh, there's a crab! It's dead, Cara. We're on top of the world!
What? I was on the world!
So regarding the name of the place, it has a park in the name. So we were expecting something like maybe like a kiddies area, but it's just really the ocean. It's quite windy, So we're just gonna just look around for a bit, then we'll move on. But it's still very nice to be able to see this. The first thing that we said is like, oh my gosh, this is like you're in Jamaica. You just go to the sea. So we dive off in the sea. This is just something like that, and the water feels the same. Yeah. All right, we're making our way back now. So we're gonna just stop for a brief lunch break. Then we're gonna head back on the road. All right, so as we're walking back, I'm keeping a track of our steps. And so far, this is just half day. We are already at 8,000 steps. Can you imagine? This is just half day. I think we might get to 20,000 steps today. We'll see. Alright guys, so we're back in the room. We're taking a short lunch break. Yesterday I did mention to you guys that traveling, you can find a way to save money on your meals, right? So yesterday when we got in, we had some ready-to-eat meals from Superstore. We had the butter chicken. It's actually our favorite out of the ready-to-eat line that they have. And today for lunch, we're gonna have some of the other ones that we have, and I'll show you an example of what this is. So my daughter is going to be having our last butter chicken, but we have an orange chicken, so this is what it looks like. 6 minutes in the microwave, as we have a microwave in the room. If you have an oven, you could also use that. And these are ready. So my husband will be having the orange chicken, and I will be having the lasagna. So same thing. And these are $4.50 each. So you're thinking about staying somewhere for a long period of time and you're eating out for all your meals. It's going to add up over time. And we want to save a little bit on every trip that we're going to be doing. So we're going to be having these ready-to-eat meals, quick on the go, then we're back on the road. So we're just going to take a short break, as I said. Then you're going to see us as we move back on the road. This is what the butter chicken will look like. So you have a serving of chicken here, and you're given rice on the side. And it's very tasty, just as if you were eating it from a restaurant or homemade. So this is an option. So as I mentioned earlier, some of the amenities that we have here at the Cedars Inn is a pool, there's a hot tub, and there's also a sauna room. And we're going to be exploring them all. So for right now, we're going to be in the pool for a little bit before we move on to the hot tub and then the sauna. And then we'll continue with our journey.
Just hold me my back.
So this is inside of the sauna. Normally, you go to a sauna to allow you sweat. So basically, toxins are being removed from your body. So we're in here now. We were in the pool earlier, and we also went to the hot tub, but it's a little bit too hot for our liking. It's like almost skin scorching hot. Not what we're used to. So we're just gonna stay in here for like another minute. My daughter wants to go back into the pool for a little while. Then we're gonna go back upstairs, change, and we're on the road again. We're on our way to Burnett Falls Park. I'm supposed to be very scenic at this time in the evening. I'm a sort of a trail, so I have changed into my sneakers, getting ready for the walk. It's now after 5, so 5:17 to be exact. So we've been on the road from this morning. So we're hoping to just wind down now as it moves further into the evening.
Nature.
We're in nature, Kari.
Yeah, I can hear nature.
Okay.
I see water.
Yeah.
There's flowers again. You can hear the Vivians.
So we are finally here, top of the falls. The walk itself wasn't very long, honestly. Probably around 5 to 7 minutes, and we're here. So it's not as long as one that we've done in the past, but it's just really magnificent to see. Can you imagine what the persons would have felt when they first discovered this? Even though it's something that's very simple, it really again connects you to nature. Heading down from the falls onto our final destination, which is the Davis Bay Beach. Cara's house!
Cars house.
Alright guys, we're here, but the water, as you can see, it is all the way back in. We saw a very similar phenomenon to this at Crescent Beach, where there was no water and all of a sudden it came rushing back. And we can see the sand here, so we assume the same thing is happening here. So not much for us to do. We'll take a couple shots because it's still very beautiful, but not much for us to do. After this, we're just going to head back home. It's been a very long day, so we're gonna end the video here.